My name is David Andrus.
And my first question is, what do you do for a living?
I'm a correctional sergeant with the California Department of Corrections.
Do you enjoy your job?
Do I enjoy my job? No.
No?
Pays the bills. Am I supposed to enjoy it? If you want, we can start over.
No, it's okay.
Okay, no.
No?
Not really.
Why don't you enjoy your job?
I mean, I'm surrounded by darkness all the time. It's ugly, it's evil, it's violent, it's bloody, it's a lot of hate. And so there's no joy in it. Well, I take that back. Sometimes there can be breakthroughs, there can be great things happening. And those few times are what makes the job rewarding. But 99% of the time that don't exist. So.
How did you get into this career field?
It was right after the Marine Corps. When I had gotten out of the Marine Corps, my mom worked for EDD, the unemployment office, and at the time she knew they were recruiting for the Department of Corrections. There was a big influx. There was a lot of positions open, and so she had told me about it, and so I went in and started the process as I was getting out of the Marine Corps.
How long have you been working in this kind of career?
Going on 25 years. Yeah.
So you chose this career field just to make money, or was it something you...
It was a career idea. It was a position. It was a job that I could do with the skills that I had. You know, and the skills, effective communication. I was physically fit, basic knowledge, basic interpretation skills of law. You know, things like that. And surprisingly, a lot of people don't have these qualifications for that type of job. Just a clean record alone is hard to get in California for someone to be in law enforcement. So I did it for the career because it was an opportunity for me to get a job that would pay well enough for me to support my family, you know, to give them a better life than I had. So that was the idea, was this promotability. It's a career thing. It's more, it wasn't a job. I didn't do it for the job. I did it for the career.
For the long run, basically.
For the long run, for the retirement, for the health care, and it's paid off. It's been great.
Right. What does your job consist of? Like, what do you do? Like, your day schedule, what is it?
My daily schedule is, you want specifics?
Just like, what do you have to do, like, for your job?
My responsibility is to supervise. I have 48 staff that work for me who supervise approximately 980 something inmates, close to 1,000 inmates on a yard, and we make sure the program is running. We run the program. We make sure that we get the inmates. I make sure that the staff get the inmates to breakfast. We make sure they get to their job assignments. Make sure that the program is running, that the daily activities of the institution on that facility are actually running. And that's what I do. At the same time, there's a lot of other things. I mean, I make sure that we do everything we can to deter violence. You know, so there's a lot of interceding when it comes to issues on the yard, and it's a lot of investigating, a lot of investigation into stuff.
Into like the inmates, how they got there, or like other things around them?
No, the activities that they're doing, and the stuff that they're doing. I mean, they're still dealing drugs. They're still prostituting each other out. They're still, you know, there's still violence. There's still extortion. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And so when I say investigation, you know, my staff are questioning inmates all day long throughout the day, and then they have regular inmates that just snitch, just like they tell, and that's just like they do on the streets. And then we try and build cases, and as we build cases to make bad decisions, it's really easy not to do things that I wouldn't want them to do because they're watching me. And so if I'm expecting them to act a certain way, you know, do as I do, not as I say. So, yeah.
So with these expectations that you see from people, how do you think you encourage the individuals that you work with?
Oh, you know what? That's the people that I work with or the population itself? Either or?
Either or.
Oh, that's great. You know, man, you're asking great questions. Ask me again.
With the expectations that you have from people, how do you think you encourage the individuals that you work with?
You know what? I think it's because in even what I do at work, it reflects my family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it reflects you, and it reflects my church, and it reflects my God, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing. How I carry myself reflects God, you know, and my relationship with Him.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is that if I'm going to carry myself in a way at church, at work, any different than I would carry myself at church or at home, I would be failing a lot of people. I'd be failing God, and I'd be failing the people that I work with, because I want them to know that there are other ways, there are better ways. Working with the people that I work with, you know, it's funny because a lot of people look at the inmate population and they say, oh, they've hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
They've hit rock bottom. You know, you can't get any worse. And you know, and several of them, well, a whole bunch of them, you know, they find God in prison.
Mm-hmm.
A very small majority of them actually hold on to God for the rest of their lives. But you know, ironically, the staff, although they haven't hit rock bottom, a lot of them don't know God. They don't know Him because they haven't hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what happens is their job, their career at the institution, with the Department of Corrections, with the state of California, it becomes their provider. It pays their meals. It takes care of their medical bills. It takes care of their entertainment. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it does everything for them. You know, so they don't know God because they feel like they don't need Him. So, if anything, what happens is I find myself in a position where, you know, I want to be there to show them. I want them to know that this isn't it. That it's all about God. You're eating because of God. You're having a great entertainment. Your health is good, and it's all God. And so that's I think that's what it is. Did I answer that right?
Yeah, you did.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. That kind of confused me.
No, I understand. You
Okay.
can edit still.
You can still edit it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Those were good questions.
Do you have anything you want to add?
What is it? Oh, you know, thank you for interviewing me. Thank you for picking me. That's awesome. That's a real privilege.
Yeah.
That's real nice. You know, what it boils down to is that when I die, someday when I die, and I'm going to stand tall in front of God,
I'll do this for you.
and yeah, He's going to have some questions for me, and I'm going to answer them. You had an opportunity, David, to share God with this inmate. Why didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be asked that question. You had an opportunity to let this person cry on your shoulder, someone you work with, another officer. Why didn't you? He's going to ask me that question if I don't do it. He's going to say, why don't your children know me? You know, or you were in Sabbath school class, you know, your children that you taught in Sabbath school class. Why didn't you lead them to a relationship with me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I guess that's the biggest motivation in the character, in my character, I think, is knowing that someday I'm going to have to answer to God, and I want to please Him.
Mm-hmm. I
want to please Him. I don't want to let Him down. He never let me down. He's never let me down, and so I hope that's good.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetie. You're awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.